Welcome to Personal Financial Planning. This is FIN200. This is your online instructor, Diana Block. And yeah, I am fighting a cold this week, so I may sound a little stuffed up, but that's okay. We're going to talk this week about investing. And investing is going to be part of a good financial plan. Once you've got the initial stages that we've talked about before set up, you've got your proper insurance allotments, whether that's health insurance, life, disability, you've got all that straightened out. You've got an emergency fund for savings and all the other things that we've discussed, and you're in a good situation where you are ready to start actually growing your wealth by investing. But the most important, in my opinion, and first step to a good investing plan is to know yourself. Know what you're capable of and what your specific challenges are. Your family type is going to be different from anyone else, and so you have to have a financial plan and an investing plan that caters to exactly your specific needs. So you want to decide how you want to invest, and that can include a lot of different things, including what specific companies you want to invest in, what types of investments you want to make. A lot of people, it's very important to them that they invest only in green companies that are environmentally and socially conscious. Or if that's not something that you're overly concerned about, there may be other reasons why you want a specific type of investment, and that's okay. You just have to understand and know up front how you want to invest. Then you've got to set your own specific goals. What are you trying to achieve with your investments? Are you saving for college for your children? Are you saving for your own retirement? Are you investing so that you can open your own business one day? Your goals are your own, but you should have some written goals as to what you're trying to achieve with your investment program. Maybe you're just trying to increase your wealth as much as possible so you'll have a nice nest egg to leave your heirs. And again, you'll have to consider what your own challenges are. How many children are you trying to put through college? Are you having a new business that you want to start, or what is it that you are facing in your life? Are you taking care of your aging parents, and so your amount of income that you can invest is very small until they pass on, or something like that? So whatever your specific challenges are, you have to incorporate those into your investment plan. And critically, you have to determine how much risk you're really willing to take for yourself. You'll hear stories of others who took big risks and won big, but that doesn't mean that will happen to you. You should only take the risk that you are willing to take. Only invest funds that you understand that you are willing to possibly lose, because investments are risky by nature. And so you don't want to risk your emergency fund. You don't want to risk your mortgage payments. You don't want to risk your livelihood on an investment, because although it could win big for you, it could also lose. So you have to evaluate how much risk are you really willing to take and cater your investment program according to your own needs. Now, once you've decided that you do want to invest, you're going to want to spread that investment money around into different types of investment vehicles. You do want to keep some of your savings in cash in the bank that you can access if you need to in case of emergency, because life happens and things change, and some of that you want to be protected. You know that a bank account has FDIC insurance up to a certain amount, $250,000, and so that's money that you can feel relatively sure that you're not going to lose. Money that you have sitting in a bank account is going to be there, and it's not very much risk that you're going to lose that. So some of your money should be there. Now, you also want to put some money into different investment vehicles like stocks and bonds. Stocks is where you have the potential to make the most money in today's market. Stocks have made many person rich, but at the same time, many people have also lost in the stock market as well. So you want to put some money there so that some of your money has the opportunity to take advantage of stock appreciation and actually maybe make you some a good money in your portfolio But you don't want to put all of it there, just some. And then also bonds. Bonds is in between. It's not as risky as stocks, but it's more risky than just putting it in the bank account. There is some risk to bonds. Some people in another class of mine were under the impression that bonds didn't have any risk because you're a creditor of the firm and the firm actually owes you money, which is true. That's what a bond is. You're loaning a corporation your money and they have to pay you back with interest. But if that firm that you bought the bond from goes into bankruptcy and they don't have the money to pay you back, you could still lose. So again, it's safer than stocks because you are a creditor and are owed certain amounts, but there's still a risk because it's the risk of that firm being able to pay you what they owe. So a bond is kind of in between. And so you want to put some of your money there because it's going to give you that little bit more security, but also better returns than a saving account. And bonds are also going to pay you regular interest payments. And so a lot of people have investments in bonds because they like having regular interest payments coming into their account all the time or every quarter. So you'll want to have something in each of those categories. It's my recommendation. And then beyond that, you want to have your eggs in more than one basket too. The money that you decide to invest in stocks, whatever part of your portfolio that you decide you're ready to invest in stocks, you don't want all of that to be in one stock. You want to spread that around so that you have stocks that will balance out the risk of each other. And in other finance classes, you'll learn more about beta and risk. But for here, just suffice to say that you definitely want to spread that around. I find that some people have put all of their stock investing into their employee stock ownership plan. And I mean, depending on where you work, that may be a more risky endeavor than at some other places, but I just wouldn't recommend it no matter who you work for. You want to spread some of that around. If your company that you work for is strong, it wouldn't hurt to have a healthy amount of your stock in that company. But things change. I've seen large companies, we all have in the last 10 to 15 years, large companies that have gone under and their employee stock ownership plan's gone under right with it. There's a video, if you ever watch The Smartest Men in the Room, it's about the Enron scandal. And at the height of Enron's success, right before the collapse, there's a video of one of the senior leaders saying employees should have all of their company stock in Enron. They should have all of their stock invested in Enron. And at that time, it sounded like a smart statement because the company we thought was doing great. But there's a lot of employees who lost in their entire life savings because all of their stock, all of their investment was in Enron stock. And when the company went over, they had nothing. And we're not talking about wealthy executives who were running the company and had millions of dollars in savings. We're talking about regular employees, secretaries, accountants, HR people, the regular people who did the work of the firm on a daily basis that weren't executives, but they had a 401k and they had all of their stock in Enron through their benefit program. Just regular working people who lost everything they had been saving for years because all of their investment was in Enron stock. So I don't recommend doing that. Make sure you have your stocks diversified and your bonds diversified. Diversity is your friend. Also, you want to investigate your tax strategies. Some bonds, like municipal bonds for county, city, local governments, may be tax exempt. So you'll want to investigate that option for your bonds to see if there are tax benefits for investing in specific bonds. Also, keep aware of the tax laws for each new year. Capital gains can be handled differently depending on legislation in the tax code that has changed each year. So once you start an investing plan, be sure that you are keeping track of how those new tax laws affect you each year, and make sure that you understand if any of your investments are tax exempt or how taxes will be handled on any of your capital gains. And then finally, I think you should stay involved in your investments. Keep track periodically of how each of them is doing. See how the market as a whole is doing and use that as a benchmark to compare for your own progress. And you don't want to move things around every month. That's not the idea. Investing is a long-term strategy. You're trying to build for something like retirement or kids' education. And so on a daily basis, the market does go up and down. And so you don't want to always knee-jerk react to that. But periodically you may need to rebalance for good reason if you've investigated. If your home situation changes and you can't invest as much, or if your children have gotten older and they've already gone to college, so you don't need to save for college anymore, then you may want to rebalance and move more of your income into bonds or into stocks or whatever is appropriate for your lifestyle at that time. But the point being, just keep on top of where you are, what portions of your portfolio are in stocks and bonds and cash, and maybe occasionally each quarter determine if you're making appropriate progress in each of those areas and decide under what circumstances you may need to rebalance. So that's what we wanted to talk about. I wanted to give you my introduction to investing. This week in class, you're going to study chapters 12, 13, and 14, I believe. It's going to be an introduction to investing, and it's going to talk specifically about bonds in another chapter and specifically about stocks in another. And I want to remind you to do the lecture review. Last week, several people mentioned they didn't realize there was a review, and I know this 6-week format is a new system and we're doing a lot of new things, so I want to make sure everybody's aware of what is required, and we're working together to work through this new system. So if you have any questions, always feel free to let me know, give me a call, or send me an email and we can talk about it. And if you do have any questions, you can also post them in the discussion forum that is set up for that as well. So I wish you a good week, and I look forward to talking to you in the discussion. Thanks.